Have you ever been criticized unfairly? Maybe someone insulted you, spread lies about you, or tried to bring you down with their words. Most of us feel the urge to defend ourselves, to argue, or to prove our worth. But what if the most powerful response was silence? There's a famous story about the Buddha that teaches us an incredible lesson on how to deal with criticism. A lesson that, if understood, can change the way we react to negativity forever. One day, as the Buddha was teaching, a man approached him and began hurling insults. He was angry, frustrated, and filled with hatred. But instead of reacting with anger or even words, the Buddha did something unexpected. He remained completely silent. Why did he do this? And how can this simple act of silence protect our peace in a world full of negativity? Today, we'll uncover the powerful wisdom hidden within this story and learn how we too can rise above criticism with the strength of silence. This isn't just about ignoring people, it's about mastering your emotions, preserving your energy, and choosing peace over unnecessary conflict. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to apply this technique in your own life. Whether you're dealing with toxic people, social media negativity, or even self-criticism. So, if you're ready to unlock the wisdom of the Buddha and transform the way you handle negativity, let's begin. One day, the Buddha was sitting peacefully with his disciples, sharing his wisdom, when a man approached him. This man was not a follower. He was angry, frustrated, and filled with resentment. He had heard of the Buddha's teachings and was displeased. He believed that the Buddha was misleading people and that his words were nonsense. And so, in front of everyone, he began to insult the Buddha. "You are nothing but a fraud," the man shouted. "You think you are wise, but you are just another fool, pretending to be something you're not. You are misleading these people with your nonsense." The disciples looked at the Buddha, waiting for his response. Would he rebuke the man? Would he correct him with words of wisdom? Would he defend himself? But to their surprise, the Buddha did nothing. He simply sat there, his expression calm, his body still. He did not react to the insults, nor did he try to argue. He simply remained silent. The man grew angrier. He continued shouting, hurling more insults, his voice filled with hatred. But no matter how much he raged, the Buddha did not respond. He did not even acknowledge the words, he simply listened, his face serene. After a while, the man became exhausted. His anger started to fade and he was left confused. He had expected a reaction, but there was none. Finally, the Buddha spoke. His voice was calm, steady, and filled with kindness. "My friend," the Buddha said gently, "if someone brings you a gift and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man, still frustrated, replied, "It belongs to the one who offered it." The Buddha nodded. "Exactly. And so it is with your anger. You have come here full of rage, offering me your insults as a gift. But I do not accept them. They remain with you." The crowd was silent. The disciples, who had been waiting for a response, now understood. The man who had come in anger was speechless. He had no choice but to walk away. His frustration now turned into reflection. This simple yet profound moment revealed one of the greatest lessons in dealing with criticism. When we refuse to engage with negativity, it loses its power over us. Instead of arguing, defending, or fighting back, the Buddha simply let the man's words return to him, and in doing so, he demonstrated the power of silence. In today's world, we are constantly encouraged to speak up, defend ourselves, and prove our worth. Social media is filled with debates, arguments, and reactions to every small provocation. But what if silence is the most powerful response of all? The story of the Buddha's silence teaches us a deep truth. When we don't engage with negativity, it loses its power over us. But why does this work? What makes silence stronger than words? 1. Silence disarms your opponent. When someone attacks you with words, they expect a reaction. They want to trigger your emotions, to make you feel anger, frustration, or self-doubt. But when you respond with silence, you take away their power. Think about the man who insulted the Buddha. He expected an argument, a debate, maybe even anger, but the Buddha didn't react. And because of this, the man's anger lost its fuel. His insults had no effect. He became confused and eventually walked away. Silence works in the same way in our lives. When we refuse to argue with toxic people, we leave them with no choice but to confront their negativity. 2. Silence protects your energy. Every time you engage in negativity, you invest your energy into something that drains you. Words have power, and responding to criticism often means getting caught in an endless cycle of conflict. Silence, on the other hand, is an act of self-control. It allows you to conserve your inner peace. When you choose silence over reaction, you are telling yourself, I value my peace more than their words. 3. Silence commands respect. Have you ever noticed that truly wise and powerful people do not react emotionally? Instead, they observe, think, and only speak when necessary. Their silence speaks louder than words. When you refuse to argue over small matters, people begin to respect you. They see that you are not easily shaken and that you are in control of your emotions. This quiet confidence is more powerful than any loud argument. 4. Silence gives you clarity. In moments of anger or frustration, our words can be impulsive. We say things we don't mean and later regret them. But silence gives us time to think. When you practice silence, you allow yourself the space to reflect before responding. Instead of reacting emotionally, you can choose your words carefully or choose to say nothing at all. 5. Silence is inner strength. The greatest battles are not fought with words, but with patience and self-mastery. The Buddha showed us that true strength is the ability to remain calm in the face of negativity. Silence does not mean weakness. It does not mean surrender. It means rising above, refusing to engage in unnecessary conflict, and choosing peace over chaos. And that is true power. Understanding the power of silence is one thing, but applying it in daily life is another. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us that silence is not just the absence of words. It is a tool for maintaining peace, protecting our energy, and rising above negativity. But how can we practice this in real-life situations? 1. Handling criticism with silence. Not all criticism deserves a response. When someone insults you, provokes you, or tries to bring you down, silence can be your greatest shield. Instead of reacting emotionally, pause. Ask yourself, does this criticism help me grow? If not, let it go. Example, a co-worker spreads rumors about you. Instead of confronting them in anger, remain calm. Their words lose power when you refuse to engage. Over time, people will see the truth through your actions, not your reactions. 2. Silence in arguments. Many arguments escalate because both sides feel the need to have the last word. But what if you chose silence instead? Sometimes the best response is to simply stop talking. Example, in a heated discussion with a friend or partner, instead of shouting back, take a deep breath and listen. Silence can de-escalate tension and bring clarity to both sides. 3. Protecting your energy from negativity. Not every battle is worth fighting. Engaging with toxic people, whether in real life or online, only drains your mental and emotional energy. Example, someone leaves a hateful comment on your social media post. Your instinct may be to defend yourself, but ask, is it worth my peace? Instead of replying, let the comment sit there. The lack of response often makes negativity fade away faster. 4. Practicing silence in self-reflection. Silence isn't just about dealing with others. It's also about understanding ourselves. When we sit in silence, we gain clarity. We hear our thoughts more clearly and can separate what truly matters from what doesn't. Example, start your day with 5 minutes of silent reflection. Observe your thoughts without judgment. This simple practice can bring a deep sense of inner peace and self-awareness. 5. Using silence as strength. Many people mistake silence for weakness, but in reality it is a sign of strength. When you can walk away from unnecessary conflicts, when you can choose peace over ego, you become truly powerful. Example: a friend accuses you unfairly. Instead of arguing, you remain calm. Over time, the truth reveals itself, and your silence proves more powerful than any defense. Final thought. The Buddha's silence wasn't just about ignoring insults, it was about mastering emotions, maintaining peace, and choosing wisdom over overreaction. In a world filled with noise, choosing silence is the ultimate power. The Buddha's response to criticism was not just a lesson in silence, it was a reflection of a much deeper truth. We are not obligated to accept what does not belong to us. When someone speaks negatively about us, their words are like a gift. If we choose not to accept the gift, it remains with the giver. This simple yet profound lesson teaches us that we have control over what we allow to affect us. 1. Detachment from ego. Most of our suffering comes from attachment, especially attachment to our identity and how others perceive us. When someone insults us, our ego feels attacked and we react. But the Buddha teaches that the ego is an illusion. If we let go of the need to defend it, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. 2. True inner peace. Real peace comes not from controlling the world, but from controlling our reactions. When we master silence, we master ourselves. The Buddha remained silent not because he had no response, but because he was beyond the need to respond. His silence showed his absolute inner peace. 3. The power of non-reaction. When negativity is met with more negativity, it multiplies. But when it is met with silence, it fades. This is the power of non-reaction. It prevents negativity from growing. By practicing this wisdom, we become unshakable. In the end, the greatest lesson from the Buddha's silence is this: we cannot control what others say, but we can control whether or not we let it disturb our peace. And that is true strength. The story of the Buddha's silence teaches us a timeless lesson. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every insult deserves a response. In a world full of noise, negativity, and endless arguments, silence is often the most powerful tool we have. When someone criticizes you, insults you, or tries to bring you down, remember that their words belong to them, not to you. Just as the Buddha refused to accept the man's anger, you too can choose not to accept negativity in your mind and heart. Key takeaways from the Buddha's wisdom. Point 1. Silence disarms negativity. Without reaction, negativity fades. Point 2. Silence protects your peace. Your energy is precious. Don't waste it on unnecessary battles. Point 3. Silence shows inner strength. Real confidence doesn't need to prove itself. Point 4. Silence brings clarity. It allows you to think before reacting. The ultimate truth: we cannot control what others say or do, but we can control how we respond. By choosing silence, we rise above negativity and protect our inner peace. So, the next time someone tries to pull you into anger, ask yourself, do I need to accept this gift of negativity, or can I simply let it go? If this lesson inspired you, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life can you use silence as a tool for peace? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more wisdom-filled content. Stay peaceful, stay wise, and remember, your silence speaks louder than your words.